You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Right now at 9, taking a live look outside. The clouds are starting to part, and we have lots to get to this morning as we follow stories in your community and all across the Bay Area. It is Monday, November 17th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ann Makovic, and here's a look at some of our news headlines. The FAA says flight schedules are back to normal this morning. The agency has lifted its restrictions on commercial flights at 40 major airports, including SFO in Oakland. Those cutbacks started during the government shutdown, and today the FAA gave airlines the green light to resume regular flight schedules. Not a moment too soon for weary flyers. The body of a 7-year-old girl swept into the ocean in Monterey County has been found. A large wave pulled her into the ocean near Garapata State Beach Friday, and her father, 39-year-old Jihu Hu, died after jumping in to save her. Her mother also went in but managed to make it back to shore. A 23-year-old facing murder charges after a double shooting in San Francisco. This happened in the Mission near 16th and Caledonia early yesterday morning. Police say it started as a fight between several men on the street just after midnight, and then one of them pulled out a gun and opened fire. One person was killed, another is in critical condition. The suspect, Larry Hugson Jr., is in custody. All right, now to our first alert weather as we start off a new work week. Here is a look at some of the damage from overnight. Big storm. I don't know if you slept through it, but this oak tree toppled over and took out power lines and phone lines in Healdsburg. PG&E crews worked through the night to fix things. Meteorologist Zoe Mintz tracking the forecast for the rest of the day.
We started off this work week on a very active note, but it's been an active past several days all across the Bay Area and all across California as well. Showing you what we have seen over the past several hours. Again, widespread rainfall. That frontal boundary moved across the state, and it's actually really interesting that you can see that moisture wrapping around an area of low pressure. That area of low pressure is going to continue to impact us through the afternoon hours before drying out, quieting down by the time that we step out into tomorrow. So this active weather pattern, again, it's not going to stick around forever. So if you like the rainy conditions, I hope you enjoy earlier today. And if you like the windier weather as well, again, that's earlier today too. We're going to continue to quiet down through the later evening hours, and those temperatures are going to continue to stay cool as well. Even though it's not going to be nearly as windy tomorrow, it is still going to be a bit cooler. This afternoon, breaking down how much rain we can see, maybe an additional 1/4 of an inch, but again, the heaviest rain is already behind us, and we're going to continue to see a few of those scattered showers throughout the earlier afternoon, maybe a few additional showers in the later afternoon, but again, not a rain all day scenario by any means, and everybody is going to continue to dry out as that area of low pressure, very interesting that you can see it spinning offshore, continues to move away into early Tuesday. And again, a lot drier, a lot quieter weather. We'll be heading our way Tuesday and into Wednesday, and that's going to allow for everybody who has any outdoor activities that maybe you haven't been able to get done. Tuesday is the day for you, and maybe even into early Wednesday before our next storm system heads our way late Wednesday and into Thursday. That should be it though for the time being. It looks like our long range models are pointing at a lot drier weather pattern with relatively warmer conditions by the upcoming weekend.
Thanks, Zoe. And taking a look at this video in San Bruno, heavy rain causing flooding early this morning. This is near the Caltrain station at San Mateo and San Bruno Avenue. Police closed the roadway at around 1 this morning to prevent people from driving through that underpass. That area is now back open to traffic. Our Veronica Macias is there.
Another wet start to your work week on this Monday here in San Bruno. We saw scattered showers this morning and overnight heavy rain causing underpasses like this one to flood. We're at the San Bruno Caltrain station where this area was closed off, blocked off to traffic because it flooded. And down the peninsula, you had similar situations down in Belmont at the intersection of Harbor and El Camino. Also closed, traffic not able to go through the underpass there because it flooded as well. And different areas around the peninsula seeing closures. The highway, you had a lot of standing water overnight, so there's some ponding on the road, causing some hazard for drivers. On this Monday, definitely take that umbrella. Be careful on the roads as you head in on your way to work.
Now to the Sierra, where chain controls are in effect on some roadways. This is a look at Highway 50 near Kingvale. More snow is expected in the Sierra throughout the week, getting ready for that ski season. And unfortunately, more rain is on the way for Southern California. This video from the Naples neighborhood. This is in Long Beach. The water got so high that kids brought out kayaks, paddled through the streets while adults walked alongside them. Evacuation orders in Pacific Palisades across LA County have been lifted after concerns about mud and debris flow near recent burn scars. Over the weekend, storms triggered street flooding, minor rock slides, and debris flow. Thousands of UC workers are on the picket lines today. It's the first day of a two-day strike by service and patient care workers. They're pushing for more money. This is video from a previous strike. The UC system says it's already rolled out its final offer, raising the minimum wage for union workers to $25 an hour. That comes as a planned strike by UC nurses is off the table. They have reached a tentative deal, keeping 25,000 nurses on the job. Brock Purdy is back, and the 49ers coming off their highest scoring game of the season. Matt Lively has a recap of yesterday's blowout over the Cardinals in Arizona.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
A business trip to the desert turned into more of a vacation for the 49ers. They could have spent the second half of this game at Casa Amigos in Old Town Scottsdale as they dominated the Cardinals in Arizona.
Hey, got a hell of a job, man. All right, big time. Guy, we've been waiting all year to have a game like that.
These are the most important weeks of the season. So to go get a big win like that, put up 40 points, it's a huge momentum swing for us.
For just the third time this season, Brock Purdy started under center, and in front of his hometown friends and family, he threw for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I would just say a lot of excitement. I'm always excited every Sunday, but, to come back, I missed 6 weeks, and then my comeback game is here in Arizona where I grew up, so I just thought it was pretty special.
Offense didn't skip a beat. We had 3 touchdowns today. I mean, that's just who he is, man. He's a superstar.
He was vintage Brock. Yeah, I mean, and that's a huge compliment. I think people kind of just watch and like, oh, he had a good game, whatever, but to be out that long and to come in and do what he did today is extremely impressive.
He was definitely feeling it. I think he's got the confidence. He's got his swagger. I mean, more people were celebrating with Brock after his touchdown pass than with me. I was a little jealous.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
Next up for the 49ers, they're taking on the Carolina Panthers back at home at Levi's next Monday. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area, tributes continue to pour in for beloved football coach John Beam. We're going to hear from a former NFL player who learned lifelong lessons from our local legend. Plus, I'm going to introduce you to a woman who's making an effort to build a bridge between people in prison and those of us on the outside.
They're humans. They have a huge amount of heart and potential for change if they're given the right resources.
How this life-changing program is providing a first-hand look at life behind bars.
Happy Monday. It has been a very active start to our day, but luckily things are going to continue to quiet down throughout this afternoon. Grab a jacket and an umbrella, though, in case you get caught in any of those scattered showers. But again, it's only going to get drier and drier into Tuesday and early Wednesday. A lot more sunshine as well, so enjoy it while you can because our next storm system is going to be moving overhead late Wednesday and into Thursday. That should be it, though, for the time being, and a lot quieter and drier by the weekend and weather ahead of us.
Well, the man accused of shooting and killing beloved football coach John Beam is set to appear in court tomorrow. Police arrested this man, 27-year-old Cedric Irving Jr., on Friday morning. They say Irving did play football at Skyline High School in the past, but he never played for Coach Beam, either during Beam's years at Skyline nor his time at Laney College. Investigators believe the suspect targeted the coach and was known to loiter around the Laney College campus. They say on the day of the shooting, Irving, quote, went to the campus for a specific reason. And tributes continue to pour in for Coach Beam. He died Friday after being shot near campus the day before. The loss is hitting the Oakland sports community especially hard. Da Lin shows us the impact he left on a lot of local athletes.
We really had a great time. We were really competitive. We had a lot of fun together. We got a lot of memories.
For William Blackwell Jr., it all started here at Skyline High School under the guidance of Coach John Beam. And now news of Beam's killing has shaken him to his core.
And I started to cry. Still in shock, hurt, angry, disappointed, like still questions around why, right?
Blackwell played for Beam in the early 90s before earning a scholarship to San Diego State. His standout years there led to being drafted in the second round by the Pittsburgh Steelers, launching a 5-season NFL career. He eventually returned to the East Bay to coach youth football. And through it all, he stayed close with the man he saw as a father figure.
He spoke the truth to me. He believed in me. He had my back 100% of the time. Good, bad, and ugly, he's standing with me.
Beam built a culture of success, competitive practices, classroom discipline, and an unshakable belief in his players.
When grades came out, in the all-TC room around here, everybody's grades were on the chalkboard. You're going to show your grade point average to everybody on the team. That kind of held us all accountable. Our team was, competitive in the classroom and our practices were on fire.
Laney College officials say Beam coached more than 2,500 players over 45 years at Laney and Skyline, including more than 30 who made it to the NFL.
You better come strong, you come to the town. Yeah.
And in 2020, the world got to know him through Netflix Last Chance U, his passion, his mustache, and his Oakland pride.
When you're a coach, you are a teacher. But as a coach, do you know how to teach? So he knew how to teach what we were doing. And that is why we had so much success.
Blackwell says he last saw Coach Beam at a recent youth football game he was coaching, a moment made even more special when his young son struck up a conversation with Beam.
I was so happy that he was developing his own relationship with Coach Beam, which made me feel really good that he was comfortable enough to go and speak with him. And that was the last time I saw him, alive. And my boy was able to speak to him.
A lot of people stopping by at this makeshift memorial to leave flowers and light candles. Not far from where the coach was shot, Coach Beam was 66 years old.
Beam is survived by his wife and 2 daughters. We report on homicides and robberies every day, but a lot of people don't give much thought to what happens after someone is sentenced for their crime and sent to prison for a life sentence. Well, there is a woman on the Central Coast who has made it her life's work to try to build a bridge between us and those on the inside. I visited her Transformative Justice Center in Monterey to find out why. In an unassuming storefront in downtown Monterey sits an invitation to us all.
So our whole mission is to bring people into prison.
And if you're not already shaking your head no, you might stay to find out why Megan McDrew wants you to meet some of her many friends.
They matter. They're humans. They have a huge amount of heart and potential for change if they're given the right resources. And much of that is healthy socialization and normalization of the experience.
That experience is seen in her trips inside Soledad Prison, featured in this new documentary called Going Inside. Megan was inspired while teaching sociology for Hartnell College. Now she's brought more than 700 civilian volunteers behind bars to talk with prisoners, bridging the gap between them and the outside world.
They are part of our community, even though they're largely invisible.
And her Transformative Justice Center seeks to shed light. When you step inside, a small mock-up prison cell brings it all home. A realistic picture of life during lockup.
The prison in Soledad I was in was really exactly like this.
Gregory Hamilton met Megan while serving 38 years in prison for a double murder back in 1985.
And the person that I am today is so far detached from the person in that day.
But he relates to the skeleton lying on the cot.
But for some people, they're dead to the world. Their family is disconnected. They burned so many bridges that no one now wants to deal with them.
But Megan does. Gregory's just made her prisoner wall of fame.
To me, they're superheroes. They've done really hard work inside prison to be found suitable for release.
Among them, Casey Brown, who served time for second-degree murder and now volunteers for Megan's program. He says it brought him a clearer picture of himself.
Being caught up in a system that labels you as inmate, prisoner, monster, deviant, even the social workers and clinicians kind of come from that standpoint and are part of the system. These people are not. They're completely distinct from it and don't have any of the biases that tend to come with the system.
And these former prisoners say those biases could be hurting us all.
Because the bottom line is, the lion's share of prisons are coming back into the society. Now, either they can come back and be the guy that left or the girl that left, or they can come back to be that person that has a changed mind.
Megan is hoping to expand her program with unemployment services and a hotline for former prisoners.
They have a million questions, especially if they've been in for 40 years and they don't know how to use a phone or a computer or what it's like to go on a first date.
And with more shared experiences on the inside and the out, the hope is that empathy is the key to bringing us all to a better place. The Transformative Justice Center celebrated 1 year on Saturday. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area, we are remembering the victims of traffic crashes and hearing the stories of people impacted.
Because I had traumatic brain injury and polytrauma injuries, fractures all over me.
How local advocates are honoring the lives lost.
You know that feeling when you pull into town and you feel like you're home?
Yes, the rain is going to stick around, but it's definitely not going to be a rain all day scenario by any means. That low pressure system, again, going to bring a little bit more rainfall across the peninsula, South Bay communities throughout the late morning and early afternoon. And then by the later part of the afternoon and evening, maybe a few of those lingering showers across Santa Clara Valley, Inland East Bay, maybe a North Bay shower or sprinkle. So you can't put the umbrella away quite yet, but definitely not a rain all day scenario. Everybody going to be seeing quieter, drier conditions overnight tonight and into tomorrow. And by the time that we step out tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be seeing plenty of sunshine. Enjoy the sunshine while it lasts, though, because we're already tracking our next storm system after this one. That's going to be arriving late Wednesday and into Thursday, bringing more widespread moisture, keeping those temperatures well below average all the way through the end of the week. So keep that in mind. It's going to be relatively chilly, relatively rainy through the end of the week. But by the time that we step out this upcoming weekend, we finally are going to get a break in the action. So any weekend plans, you should be good to go. Again, it's just through Thursday that you want to keep the umbrella handy. Back to you.
From red light cameras to increased enforcement, city leaders in San Francisco are making a push to try to prevent more traffic deaths. The city's website shows so far this year there have been 19 traffic deaths in San Francisco. That is compared to 43 in 2024 and 26 in 2023. And while there has been some progress on preventing more fatalities, it obviously will not undo the damage that has been done. Leaders in San Francisco held a candlelight vigil outside City Hall last night, honoring the lives lost in traffic crashes. It's part of the annual World Day of Remembrance for victims. Families sharing personal stories, and local leaders read the names of those killed on city streets. Amanda Harry spoke with one survivor who shared his journey of recovery.
Titus Bradley, David Warren Bridges Jr.
Each name carefully read. Everyone representing one of the 348 people killed in traffic crashes in San Francisco since 2014. Around 5,000 more people have been severely injured, including John Lowell.
Because I had traumatic brain injury and polytrauma injuries, fractures all over me.
He was hit by a car while walking in a crosswalk back in 2001.
That event turned me into an inpatient for over a year. I was inpatient at 6 medical facilities in this city.
It changed his life forever.
Memories are gone, and it took a diagnosis and a prescription by a neurologist to help reduce the number of grand mal seizures.
His father became his guardian because of his reduced capacity. After years of mental and physical rehabilitation, he has his life back, and he advocates for other traffic victims, including those who can no longer advocate for themselves.
Sister Mary and I are here on behalf of my sister Rose Kelly, who was tragically taken from us 10 years ago.
Photos and candles represent the lives lost. State Senator Scott Wiener says the city needs to do better.
Decisions have been made over the years and decades that facilitating fast traffic is more important than people's lives. And it's painful to even utter those words.
21 people have died in traffic accidents in San Francisco in 2025. Everyone echoed that more work has to be done to protect people. But Weiner is proud of the efforts they're making.
And at the state level, I am grateful to Walk SF and so many advocates for working with us to pass automated speed enforcement, which is already having incredibly positive impacts in San Francisco in terms of just slowing people down when they are driving.
Lowell got to help with another new law to protect pedestrians, the daylighting law, prohibiting people from parking 20 feet from the approach of some crosswalks.
And I had a feeling of joy giving a paintbrush to paint a curb red, because it would reflect safety for whomever, could be me or someone else visiting or residing in that neighborhood.
The annual remembrance happens on the third Sunday of November every year. Turning now to some changes for weekday commuters. On Samtrans on the peninsula, the transit agency just made some of its bus route changes. So that includes differences in the 61, 83, and 117. The goal, they say, is to improve on-time performance. Coming up in the next half hour here on CBS News Bay Area, business owners shaken up after a deadly shooting in San Francisco. How a Waymo could provide a key piece of evidence in this investigation.
Your community, your news, powered by KPIX. CBS News Bay Area. Watch anywhere, anytime. Stay informed and connected. Trusted local news when you want it. CBS News Bay Area. Watch free on any device. You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
And thanks for being with us this Monday. I'm Ann Makovic. Here's another look at some of our news headlines. The FAA says flight schedules are back to normal this morning. They have lifted those restrictions on commercial flights at 40 major airports, including SFO in Oakland. The cutback started during the government shutdown and caused a lot of headaches for travelers. Today, the FAA gave airlines the green light to resume regular flight schedules. The body of a 7-year-old girl swept into the ocean in Monterey County has been found. A large wave pulled her into the ocean near Garapata State Beach Friday, and her father, 39-year-old Yuji Hu, died after jumping in to try to save her. Her mother also went in, but managed to make it back to shore. Thousands of UC workers are on the picket lines today. This is video from a previous strike. Today is the first day of a 2-day strike by service and patient care workers. They are pushing for more money. The UC system says it's already rolled out its final offer, raising the minimum wage for union workers to $25 an hour. All right, starting off a brand new work week, let's get another check on our first alert forecast because it certainly did start wet. Here's meteorologist Zoe Mintz.
We started off this work week on a very active note, but it's been an active past several days all across the Bay Area and all across California as well. Showing you what we have seen over the past several hours. Again, widespread rainfall. That frontal boundary moved across the state, and it's actually really interesting that you can see that moisture wrapping around an area of low pressure. That area of low pressure is going to continue to impact us through the afternoon hours before drying out, quieting down by the time that we step out into tomorrow. So this active weather pattern, again, it's not going to stick around forever. So if you like the rainy conditions, I hope you enjoy earlier today. And if you like the windier weather as well, again, that's earlier today too. We're going to continue to quiet down through the later evening hours, and those temperatures are going to continue to stay cool as well. Even though it's not going to be nearly as windy tomorrow, it is still going to be a bit cooler. This afternoon, breaking down how much rain we can see, maybe an additional 1/4 of an inch, but again, the heaviest rain is already behind us, and we're going to continue to see a few of those scattered showers throughout the earlier afternoon, maybe a few additional showers in the later afternoon, but again, not a rain all day scenario by any means, and everybody is going to continue to dry out as that area of low pressure, very interesting that you can see it spinning offshore, continues to move away into early Tuesday, and again, a lot drier, a lot quieter weather. We'll be heading our way Tuesday and into into Wednesday, and that's going to allow for everybody who has any outdoor activities that maybe you haven't been able to get done. Tuesday is the day for you, and maybe even into early Wednesday before our next storm system heads our way late Wednesday and into Thursday. That should be it, though, for the time being. It looks like our long-range models are pointing at a lot drier weather pattern with relatively warmer conditions by the upcoming weekend.
A man is in jail after a deadly shooting in San Francisco's Mission District Sunday. One person was killed, another in critical condition after that double shooting. And police are tracking any possible leads right now for their investigation. This happened just after midnight Sunday near 16th and Caledonia Streets. And as Dahlin reports, the shooting was apparently caught on multiple cameras, including a Waymo.
Police tapes and flashing lights lit up Ajas Ghani's Indian and Pakistani restaurant on 16th Street. He says the early Sunday morning homicide has shaken the entire block.
This murder, is shake up the 16th Street. And the people are scared. They don't want to come here, It's going to affect the business.
San Francisco police, along with a nearby business owner whose surveillance cameras captured the shooting, tell me it started as a fight between several men on the street around 12:20 a.m. Then one man pulled out a gun and shot two men.
Two males are on the ground. Troy is rolling. We have multiple callers, two people shot. No suspect information.
This area of the Mission District is busy, surrounded by bars, restaurants, and late-night foot traffic. A police dispatcher says the shooting may have also been captured by cameras on a Waymo self-driving vehicle.
Getting a call from Waymo regarding the A Party 217. They are calling in advising the shooting occurred directly behind one of their Waymo vehicles traveling eastbound 16th. Group involved in the altercation hit the back of the Waymo vehicle.
Paramedics rushed two gunshot victims to SF General, where one died and the other remains in critical condition. Neighbor Joshua McDonald says he heard the gunfire echo through his building.
In the lobby of my apartment complex, and I heard about maybe 5 or 6 gunshots.
Ghani has run Lahore Karahi and Pizza for 25 years. He says the violence makes an already challenging business climate even more difficult.
More police present on the 16th and Mission area and Valencia area because a lot of bars and, a lot of young people coming here.
I've only lived in this neighborhood for 3 months, and I believe there's been 3 shootings in this area since I've lived here.
Police recovered a gun at the scene. Within hours, investigators tracked a suspect to Visitation Valley and arrested 23-year-old Larry Hudson Jr. of San Francisco. Ghani hopes the city can make the area safer.
Slowly, it's going to take time. This mayor is working hard to, clean up the city and control the crime.
Police are still investigating the motive, what led to the fight, and ultimately the shooting. The business owner who has the surveillance footage does not want to release the video to the public, but he will share it with the police.
And that suspect, Larry Hudson Jr., was booked into the San Francisco County Jail on murder charges. A new public safety building is officially open in Palo Alto. It is a $120 million project that brings the police department, the fire department, and emergency services all under one roof for collaboration. The building is 57,000 square feet. It's going to house 150 city workers. Assistant Police Chief James Refschneider says this building has been in the works for quite a while.
When I was hired over 20 years ago, I was told that I was coming on at a very exciting time because we would imminently be moving into a new building. I'll concede that we may have significantly stretched the definition of the word imminently.
The new building is located on 250 Sherman Avenue next to the new California Avenue area parking garage. President Trump appears to be reversing his stance on releasing the Epstein files in the face of growing GOP support to do so. Now, the House is poised to vote as early as tomorrow on a bill compelling the DOJ to release all the files it has on Jeffrey Epstein. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
Even as President Trump continues to call it a Democratic hoax,
they just keep bringing that up to deflect from the tremendous success of the Trump administration.
He's now telling House Republicans to vote to release the Epstein files in a social media post late Sunday night saying Republicans have nothing to hide and it's time to move on.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off and get it done.
A growing number of House Republicans are now signaling support for the resolution to compel the Department of Justice to release all documents related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie and California Democrat Ro Khanna led the bipartisan effort to force the vote, which is expected as early as tomorrow.
I'd rather he release all these files. Someone was saying that his numbers would go up. I don't care if he gets the political win. It's not about Donald Trump. I don't even know how involved Trump was. There are a lot of other people who are involved who have to be held accountable.
It's still unclear whether the Senate takes up the measure, and it would need a signature from the president, who's also calling for a new investigation.
On Friday, President Trump asked the DOJ to look into alleged Epstein ties to prominent Democrats, including former President Bill Clinton, as well as major financial institutions. Congressman Massie questioned the intent of the probe.
This might be a big smokescreen, these investigations, to open a bunch of them as a last-ditch effort to prevent the release of the Epstein files.
The president dismissed Massie's concerns and criticized him. Attorney General Pam Bondi said the DOJ will pursue the matter with urgency and integrity.
And a spokesperson for Bill Clinton says the former president did nothing and knew nothing. President Trump says he is weighing possible military action against Venezuela. That comes as the country's most advanced aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, sitting off the coast of the South American country. President Trump says talks with Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro might happen. Maduro is facing charges of narco-terrorism here in the U.S., but he has said the U.S. government is fabricating a war against him. In recent weeks, the U.S. military has conducted strikes on more than 20 alleged drug smuggling boats, with officials reporting more than 80 people killed so far. Coming up next here on CBS News Bay Area, honoring a hometown hero, how an MLB All-Star from the Bay Area is getting some special recognition.
When you got a hometown guy and who actually comes back and donates, and all, baseball was booming here.
Start your day with us and open your world.
Time to open up those windows and get this day started.
The power of CBS News.
It is a historic day in news.
Taking you around the globe, across the country.
With Federal, live, and
into your community.
To the South Bay, major changes.
And Bay Area weather from a whole new perspective.
Let's head underneath this cloud layer.
CBS News Bay Area's Morning Edition. Weekdays at 6 on KPIX.
Happy Monday. It has been a very active start to our day, but luckily things are going to continue to quiet down throughout this afternoon. Grab a jacket and an umbrella, though, in case you get caught in any of those scattered showers. But again, it's only going to get drier and drier into Tuesday and early Wednesday. A lot more sunshine as well, so enjoy it while you can, because our next storm system is going to be moving overhead late Wednesday and into Thursday. That should be it, though, for the time being, and a lot quieter and drier by the weekend and weather ahead of us.
Well, the Bay Area is home to many sports legends, and that includes pitcher CC Sabathia. He was introduced into the Baseball Hall of Fame this year, and now, as John Ramos shows us, his hometown of Vallejo is honoring him in a special way.
CC Sabathia has worn a lot of titles in his life, from Cy Young Award winner to World Series champion to Hall of Fame inductee. But the one he's had the longest, and that may be closest to his heart, is that of native son of the city of Vallejo.
Look at the emotion from the big fella.
CC Sabathia, short for Karsten Charles, took the baseball world by storm. The hard-throwing lefty made batters look silly as he prowled the mound like a grizzly bear. But his life began in Vallejo, and on this day they honored the local hero, who in July became a first-ballot Hall of Famer, although he admits he never imagined that would happen.
You know, to look up at the end of the day and have my career be recognized as a Hall of Fame career is very special. But no, I had no idea. I mean, I didn't, you know, if you ask anybody around here, yeah, they could say that now, but I don't think they thought that when I was 12 years old.
Family, friends, and admirers gathered at Vallejo High School, where he played all three major sports. But it was on the diamond where he really stood out, and his friend and teammate Jomar Connors recalled a little scam they pulled in making their own version of pine tar.
We would put my mom's Jerry Kroger juice, Kool-Aid, lotion, soap, dirt, and we would put it on our hands, and we'd go hit home runs. So we start charging the neighborhood kids $5. And we would just throw the ball a little slower, but they could hit it out.
During and after his career, CC and his wife and business manager, Amber, began the Pitch In Foundation, supplying local kids with backpacks and school supplies. Amber's auntie, Joan, says he's earned the love that Vallejo feels for him.
CC hand is open. He's willing to teach. He's willing to be a mentor and help the next generation. This is right, Mike. And he helped put Vallejo on the map besides Mare Island.
CC spent most of his Hall of Fame induction speech thanking the women in his life, from his grandmother and mother to his wife, all the way down to his own daughters.
For so many athletes, how many women are truly impactful in their careers? A lot of times we don't get credit for that. So it was great to really get that credit and for him to show all the women how much they meant to him during his life.
It was in the late 90s when Jeremy Smith moved to Vallejo, and he remembers well how CC had sparked the town's passion for baseball.
Every part of Vallejo had baseball, and CC was like the big star here. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you got a hometown guy and who actually comes back and donates and all, baseball was booming here.
But for all of his accomplishments on the mound, CC has said how much he loved to hit and wished he had played in a league without the designated hitter. That's what gave Smith hope that one day he would choose to become a Giant.
We'll never know if he could have been as great as Shohei right now as far as a hitter, but he would have been up there trying to hit a home run every single time.
CC's playing days may be over, but he's still hitting home runs, this time for a community that will always be proud to call him one of their own.
Reacted to the honorary street sign on social media, saying, "Witnessing my name go up on the very streets I grew up on is a feeling that can't be described. Vallejo, California, the crest is and will always be home." He says, "Grateful for the honor to be remembered in this place in a way that has shaped me since day one." A pizza joint in San Francisco's Potrero Hill just hit a big milestone. Goat Hill Pizza is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Yesterday, attendees mingled outside Goat Hill Pizza and had a slice of pie and, of course, some cake. The founder tells us the restaurant has been in a special place for their community.
I mean, I can't tell you the number of baseball and basketball teams we've had here, the number of birthdays and wedding celebrations and memorials. This has been a central place for the community to act and to come together for 50 years.
Now, if you're wondering how Goat Hill Pizza got the name, the founder tells us that they used to keep goats in the backyard, and clearly there were some there for the celebration. Bay Area Scouts collecting food for people in need after a delay in food benefits following the government shutdown. These are photos of the food drives in Fremont, American Canyon, and Sonoma. Hundreds of pounds of food collected across those sites. And if you want to help out, you can join us in our Bay Area Food for Families drive. Scan the QR code on your screen to find out how you can donate food or volunteer. You can go to our website, kpix.com/give. Coming up, he moved to the Bay Area for a girl and ended up homeless. Now he's making ends meet, playing music for BART riders.
I could get a job, or I could go full-blown homeless mode and try to live my dreams.
Put that positivity out there, it does multiply.
When it gets tougher, you get stronger.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, the rain is going to stick around, but it's definitely not going to be a rain all day scenario by any means. That low pressure system, again, going to bring a little bit more rainfall across the peninsula, South Bay communities throughout the late morning and early afternoon. And then by the later part of the afternoon and evening, maybe a few of those lingering showers across Santa Clara Valley, Inland East Bay, maybe a North Bay shower or sprinkle. So you can't put the umbrella away quite yet, but definitely not a rain all day scenario. Everybody going to be seeing quieter, drier conditions overnight tonight and into tomorrow. And by the time that we step out tomorrow afternoon, they're going to be seeing plenty of sunshine. Enjoy the sunshine while it lasts, though, because we're already tracking our next storm system after this one. That's going to be arriving late Wednesday and into Thursday, bringing more widespread moisture, keeping those temperatures well below average all the way through the end of the week. So keep that in mind. It's going to be relatively chilly, relatively rainy through the end of the week. But by the time that we step out this upcoming weekend, we finally are going to get a break in the action. So any weekend plans, you should be good to go. Again, it's just through Thursday that you want to keep the umbrella handy. Back to you.
Well, some sweet news for pastry lovers in San Francisco. The popular bakery Butter and Crumble is getting a second location. All thanks to legislation Mayor Daniel Lurie just signed into law that makes it easier for small businesses to open and grow in District 3. That is home to Union Square, Chinatown, and North Beach. San Franciscans happy to see how far the owner has come since selling cakes during the COVID pandemic.
I picked up cakes from her for multiple family occasions and just followed her journey on Instagram and really love the way she runs her business, and I'm proud of her.
They are in negotiations for a potential second location for a second store. Right now, customers say a second location hopefully means shorter lines, but they say right now those lines are worth the wait. If you take BART into the city, you often stroll by buskers playing music for tips across the stations. It can be a rough way to make a living, but for one 20-year-old, it is his path off the streets and into housing. Kevin Coe shows us the journey busking out of homelessness.
The feeling on most BART platforms during rush hour can be intense. The crowds, the noise. But for some lucky commuters, a joyous sound lightens the mood. A piano busker has made his name for the music he plays. But for 20-year-old Mark Dyson, it hasn't been an easy road. Mark says he left an abusive family situation in Ohio, driving across the country for a girl, a decision that didn't go as planned.
Let's just say day 2, I told her I loved her. Day 3, we blocked each other.
The Bay Area held hope for the aspiring animator who continued to make YouTube videos.
Hi, I'm Mark. All right, there you go. Now you know.
He had a choice to make.
I could get a job, or I could go full-blown homeless mode and try to live my dreams.
Mark joined nearly 40,000 others in the Bay Area living without a permanent home.
The next several months, I was living in my car in the Planet Fitness parking lot. And that was certainly something. Very lonely, very dangerous, but it gave me my own safe space. I had a place I could call home.
Holding a full-time job is difficult, as Mark is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, autism, and ADHD. With few options, Mark fell back on something he'd been doing since the age of 4, playing piano. He began busking at BART stations and went all in.
You know how they say don't put all your eggs in one basket? I am putting all my eggs, along with the hens and the roosters, in this one basket.
So far, the gamble has paid off. Literally. He started a year ago, and since then, BART riders like Rod Kilpatrick have taken notice.
He's very skillful, and he's got a mind like an encyclopedia. I wish I had the courage to do something like that, and the skill to do it.
By playing piano, Mark has been able to afford an apartment in the East Bay. He's working to save up and looking toward the future.
This is not something I want to do forever. This is very, very dangerous. I have been robbed from multiple times. I see lots of things happen down here.
While not taking this unconventional path for granted.
Everyone says, oh, you must be so brave. You must be so hardworking. No, dude, I'm just really, really lucky.
Well, thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ann Makovic. We're going to be right back with your first alert forecast and another look at your top stories.